Hello everyone, it's JBW and today I'm giving my verdict on these bus changes, on the North London bus changes. I know I've did this in a stream, but now I'm doing this in video form. You see, at the time of the stream, at the time that I made the stream talking about the bus changes, I was very discombobulated. So I'm just gonna give it, I'm just gonna put my words into this. This is terrible. If you haven't heard of this already, the 67 is getting withdrawn and being replaced with the 149. You see, TFL have been making stupid changes like these for a while. I'm sure you guys have heard of the 205 and 30 changes, where the 205 was basically rerouted to Marble Arch and the 30 was cut back to Euston. I'm speechless because it's just bad. It's really bad. It was a really bad change. You could have at least kept the 30 at Baker Street Station. No, you had to cut it back to Euston. Like half the route is gone because you decided, oh, let's reroute the 205. Like what type of logic is that? That change just didn't make sense. And now we are here. So, the major problem with these changes is that the 149 is going to be taken away from Tottenham and Edmonton Green. And with this change, that will leave 259 and 279 the only routes serving Edmonton Green and Tottenham, because the 349 is getting withdrawn. So those two routes will be the only routes providing those two links. It's one thing sending the 279 to Stamford Hill and extending the 259 to Glen Road, Ponders End, but getting rid of the 349. But it's another thing considering the 149 is the second busiest route in all of London's 32 boroughs, and 149 takes you the furthest into London, takes you the furthest. The route connects London Bridge, central London, with Edmonton Green. And what are Enfield residents supposed to do? They rely on buses. Buses is their lifeline. And TFL are doing this to encourage residents to use the Weaver line. Now, you see, the problem with the Weaver line is that the stations that it serves, they're not all step-free access, and TFL are disregarding the old and disabled people who may not be able to use the stairs on those non-step-free access stations. And that is an issue. And the main issue here is that 349 was a filler route. And it helped support 259, 279, and 149. And all four of those routes are well used. They are very, very busy, especially from Seven Sisters. They get very busy. And 259, another route getting, and 259 getting cut back means another route lost from King's Cross. I mean, to be fair, you got 91, but that route's just gonna get busier. TFL are not thinking. TFL are not thinking here. And the people proposing these changes are people who do not use buses. The people proposing changes do not use buses. You heard it from me here, guys. Now back to 67 and 149. There were a lot of missed opportunities with the 67. You see with the Harringay Heartlands changes, for example. You see how the 91 was extended and the 232 was cut back and rerouted. They could have extended the 67 to Harringay Heartlands, or even better, New Southgate, or even better, New Southgate, more specifically, B-Style Circus Roundabout, you know, Bet-Style Roundabout, Bet-Style Circus Roundabout, that place, like, I know I'm jumping over my words here, but my point is there was missed opportunities with the 67. And the Dalston cut, it destroyed the route. I'm not sugarcoating it. The route was destroyed when it was cut back to Dalston Junction in 2019. And this was bound to happen, guys. Let's not play dumb. It's not because of the meme. It's because TFL keep cutting routes until they have to get rid of them. I get they have to make their savings, but you could at least make smarter changes. We all have to make changes in business. I understand. But the difference is we're trying to improve the network. We're trying to improve the network here, not destroy it. Try to improve the network, not destroy it. Make smarter changes, not just changes. Not just changes for the sake of changes. Make smarter changes. But this is not smart. Cutting the 149 from the rest of its route down to Edmonton Green is a disaster waiting to happen. And the 141 already provides a good link from Wood Green to London Bridge. So this change is not necessary. It's just not necessary. None of these changes are really necessary. It's just TFL making changes for the sake of changes and not listening to the residents and just going ahead with it. The only part I agree with is I partly agree with is 349 getting withdrawn. And if you're going to withdraw the 349, at least increase the pre-VR and frequency on routes 259 and 279. If not, then this is not going to end well. And with the third change, with the 254, the 254 and the 253, they're brother routes. Those two routes support each other. The 253 is going to be very busy, and this also relates to the 279 being taken away from Manor House. The 279 relates to the 279 being taken away from Manor House. Who's going to support 259? Oh, anyway. The 106 will be extended to Oldgate to replace the 254, and the 253 will get a frequency increase. So, I'm very conflicted about this change. I'm very conflicted because you're extending the 106 to Oldgate, but it's not going to directly serve the hospital at Whitechapel anymore. That's a never issue. And you're not going to bother and they're not going to bother extend the 106 to Holloway. And plus, the 106's reliability, it isn't very good as well. It isn't very good. That route has a very bunching problem, very big bunching problem. It's not a good one. It's not a good. It's not a good change at all. These changes are not good. I get why they're trying to get rid of the 254 because it overlaps. But at least extend the 106 to Holloway. If you're gonna go ahead with this, at least extend the 106 to Holloway. Like, make it make sense. Now, in my full opinion, I am very conflicted about these changes. Three routes are getting withdrawn. Three routes are getting withdrawn right now. The 67, the 254, and the 349. Like, the 67 and the 254, those two routes are very useful. And the 349 is basically just a filler route. But all three of these routes have purposes. And TFL, they're just ignoring resident rejections. They're just ignoring resident ejections. They say they want us to have our opinion. But when we express our opinion, and most of the votes say no, TFL goes ahead with it anyway. Despite the backlash, TFL still goes ahead with it. They abuse the fact that we need these services. We need buses. So we're still obviously going to use them. We need buses day to day to live our lives. Go to work, school, commute, And TFL, I honestly don't know what to say. To be honest, I really don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say here. I'm out of words. And the initial change was to cut 254 to Finchley Park. But now they are just withdrawing the whole of the 254. Now they're just withdrawing the 254 itself. Now they're just withdrawing the whole route. You're gonna cut it back to Finchley Park. I honestly don't see the rationale in this change. But okay. I don't see the rationale in withdrawing the 254. Like, let's say the 253 is rammed. All the 253s are rammed. And the 254, that route would take me the same way. So, the 254 is needed to support the 253. And TFL are trying to use this and flip it around and say 254 is useless and we're going to withdraw it. Like, this is not good. North London is cooked if these changes go ahead. And we all know they are going to go ahead, despite resident ejections. And then the 1938 changes. This is rough. This is rough. The 38 is getting cut back to Holborn. The 38 is getting cut back to Holborn, and the 19 is being rerouted to Victoria. Now, I'm glad Route 10 is coming back after 8 years now. Gosh, that's a long time. 8 years now. The 10's coming back, but the 38 pays the biggest price, being cut back to Holborn, New Oxford Street, and I think it's gonna use, and I think that's 171's old stand. Yeah, so the 38's been cut back to Holborn, and the 19's been rerouted to Victoria to replace the 38. So the 19's, so as you've heard from other bus enthusiasts, and from my personal experience riding the 19, the route gets Celt Road a lot. I've had to, I've had three, I've had 3 attempts. I've had to do 3 attempts on Route 19 just to ride the route. 3 attempts. The route either got curtailed to Chelsea, or in the middle of nowhere that we don't even know, or in the middle of nowhere that I don't even know. Like one time on the 19, this was about a year ago, 2 years ago, I think. 19 was curtailed to Salon Square, and then on the previous attempt before this, it was curtailed to some place in Chelsea. It was crazy. My first 2 attempts, bad. Curtailed, because apparently congestion and all of that. It was crazy. Okay, now let's get back to the main point. The 19 suffers heavily to reliability. Its reliability is not very good. Its reliability is not very good, and I'll say it again. The route's reliability is bad, and TFL are trying to fix it here by creating a new Route 10. But 38 pays the biggest price, as we see here. The 38 is being cut to Holborn. Personally, you could have kept the route at Piccadilly Circus. You could have kept the route at Piccadilly Circus. I feel like Holborn's just too far, but you know how TFL are. They don't like to listen to really anyone, really. They just care about their savings and that's it. And it's really sad, really. It's really sad. Yes, these changes, they're not very good, guys. And I don't know what to say anymore. But the only good thing I can say, this is completely unrelated, but I mean, it's still in North, actually. Northeast. Northeast London. There is some hope. The SL12 will commence on the 5th of September. And I can see this route being very useful from Grants Hill to Ferry Lane Industrial Estate. I can see this route being very useful. The SL12, I think this route is our only hope right now. Hopefully TFL come to their senses and realize how stupid and bogus these changes are. I know they've already went ahead with the 279, 349 and all of that. I get they've went ahead with those ones. But I hope they don't go ahead with the two main changes that I'm complaining about. The 67 and the 149 changes and the 106, 253 and 254 changes. Just bad. Like if you are gonna make a change to the 67, make it be that the route gets extended back to Oldgate and reroute the 242 to what it was before. Well, I highly doubt they're gonna do that. The cut to the 67 ruined the route, and now they're gonna withdraw it. The 279 and the 259, they're gonna get packed. They're gonna get packed. And from the corridor from Holloway to King's Cross, 17 and 91, they're gonna be packed as well. So us passengers are basically collateral in TFL's little game. I know I promised I would try and have an open mind, and I've really tried, but it's not looking good, guys. It's not looking good, people. The only hope is that TFL will come to their senses, which I don't know. Which actually I don't think will happen. TFL have been off the rails for a long time. We've seen what they did in the 2019 changes. You've seen the crazy changes they tried to propose in 2022, but they didn't go ahead with that. You've seen those changes. Absolutely crazy. I get they lost a lot of revenue from COVID and all of that, and that you need to make savings. But doing all these changes, I don't think is the answer. Maybe make smarter changes. That is my only way to say this. Oh, and here with the Wolvenstall, Wanstead and Woodford changes over here. These were so bad. Well, I'm not going to get into it. Yeah, so not looking good, guys. I know I'm basically just yapping at this point, but this is just not looking good. It is not looking good. Not looking good at all, guys. I'll see you guys in a more upbeat video. Hopefully. Goodbye. JBW signing off.